Hi, I'm Joshua Lee, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the seasons and the tilt of the Earth. Summer and winter are very different seasons. It gets hot in the summer and cold in the winter. But what exactly causes seasons? Well, it's commonly believed that the seasons are caused by the distance of the Earth from the Sun, and that in the summer, Earth is closer to the Sun, while in the winter, Earth is further from the Sun. But this is not true. Earth seasons are actually caused by the tilt of the Earth. It'll be easier to understand if I explain this to you visually. So this blue circle is the Earth, and this yellow circle represents the Sun. So as you can see, the Earth orbits the Sun in an elliptical path. So here we have Earth in two positions in its orbit around the Sun. Here, the Earth is closest to the Sun, and here, the Earth is furthest from the Sun. When the Earth is closest to the Sun, we call this point perihelion. When the Earth is furthest from the Sun, we call this aphelion. So what some people think is that perihelion is summer, while aphelion is winter. But there's a simple problem. It isn't one season all throughout the planet at once. So it could be one season in the northern hemisphere, while it could be another season in the southern hemisphere. This is because of Earth's tilt. Now, Earth does not rotate perfectly vertically. Its axis of rotation is actually about 23.5 degrees off. So here, the axis of rotation is represented by the orange line. Its axis of rotation is actually about 23.5 degrees off relative to its orbital path. So if this is the Earth and this is the orbital path, the axis of rotation would make a 23.5 degree angle with the line perpendicular to this path. So this angle right here is 23.5 degrees. Now this tilt does sometimes change very slightly every few thousand years, but right now it seems to be at a 23.5 degrees. When the Earth orbits the Sun, its tilt always points in the same direction. So if the Earth goes around the Sun like this, its axis will always point in the same direction, like this. So first, let's look at this situation over here. Let's say you live on the northern hemisphere. If you follow your day, it should look something like the line represented here. The purple part represents the night and the yellow part represents the daytime. As you can notice here, most of the day will be spent in daylight and you will have less nighttime. So this will be summer in the northern hemisphere at least. In the summer, you get more daytime than you do nighttime. And since there's more sunlight, you also receive more energy from the sun, which generally makes it hotter. If you go up to higher latitudes, maybe even to the Arctic Circle, your day will follow this path represented by the yellow circle. Notice how all of it is in the day. This actually happens, and in the summer, the Arctic Circle can actually get 24 hours of sunlight, which is pretty crazy. Now let's say you have a friend that lives somewhere in the southern hemisphere. While you're going through summer, your friend will be going through winter. Their day follows a path like this. Here, most of it is night, as you can see by the purple line. This would mean winter for the southern hemisphere, since there's more nighttime than daytime. In the northern hemisphere, summer usually lasts from June to August, and in the south, it usually lasts from December to February. Let's fast forward to 6 months in the future. Well, then the Earth will now be on the opposite side of the Sun, so now the light is coming from the left side, at least from this diagram. Since the tilt always points in the same direction, the Earth will still be oriented like this. But now the northern hemisphere is pointed away from the Sun, so now your day will follow this path. Now you get more nighttime than you do daytime, so this is winter for you. On the other hand, your friend will now be going through summer since he or she is now pointed towards the sun and receive more sunlight. So when the northern hemisphere is going through summer, the southern hemisphere will be going through winter, and when the north is going through winter, the south will be going through summer. Again, this is not because of the Earth's distance from the sun, but rather it's because of the Earth's tilt, and whether you're tilted towards the sun or away from the sun determines what season you're going through. I just talked about summer and winter because they're the extreme seasons, but of course we also have spring and autumn, which are milder. So when the Earth is in these two positions, these would be spring and autumn in terms of Earth's orbit. Which one is spring and which one is autumn depends on which hemisphere you live in. Another difference between summer and winter, besides the length of day and night, is how high the sun is up in the sky. In the winter, the sun seems to follow a path that is pretty low, while in the summer, the sun seems to be higher up in the sky, sometimes even directly overhead. So let's say this here is the ground. In the summer, the sun seems to be high up in the sky, sometimes even directly overhead. Then the rays of sunlight travel straight down and don't have to go through much atmosphere, so it brings most of its heat into the ground without much being absorbed in the atmosphere. On the other hand, in winter, the sun may be lower in the sky and the light has to go through this path. Now this path is much longer than the path in summer. Now this causes more heat to be absorbed into the atmosphere instead of the earth, which is why it seems colder in the winter than in the summer. In today's video, we learned about the seasons, why they exist, and the tilt of the earth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thanks for watching.